Hi people, it's me again, Marina Wagenberg, obviously. This video is basically an expansion to my existing article, which you can check out since it's linked in the description as usual, or as always. And the article is called The Law of Attraction. This is an old article, honestly. I wrote this back in the day, in 2018. That's when I wrote this article. And I have 3 videos linked in the article or embedded in the article, and this is going to be video number 4. And like I said, this is more of an expansion to the core of the article, as well as the video that directly relates to it, the law of attraction. Most people are familiar with the law of attraction, but they don't really know exactly what it means. And it will take them a while to actually explain it to you in layman's terms when you, if you press them for the information or for the definition of it. And this is more of a reminder video and a video that will do so, explain it in layman's terms. Okay, since we're in 2021 right now, and that was an old video, this is more refreshing. Anyways, the law of attraction. Plain and simple, the law of attraction simply means that your state of mind, so your psychological state of mind, creates your reality to an extent. And this is directly relevant to or related to the occult, obviously. Your spiritual state of mind, your astral state of mind, your astral state period, or the state that your astral body finds itself in, creates your reality up to a certain point. It's the plain and simple logic of negativity attracts negativity. If you're in a negative state of mind, whether it's through no fault of your own or it is, so regardless of whether it's your fault or not that you find yourself in that compromised and lowly state of mind, then you're going to attract negative elements to your life. Negativity can in general never attract positivity, especially relating to this context. So the way that it directly applies to the occult is if you for example are depressed, you find yourself down in the dumps. Okay, bear in mind that we're not talking about superficial levels of negativity. We're not talking about someone that's simply grumpy, or someone that is briefly only not in a good mood for whatever reason. Someone either lost a bet, some level of misfortune befell these people, and that doesn't count because it's superficial. Okay, it doesn't count. It's like going through something superficially negative. It will pass, obviously, because it doesn't do you anything. But when you're legitimately traumatized, okay, I also have a video on that, how to cope with trauma and heal from it. When you're legitimately traumatized, okay, that means that your astral body, your spirit, is severely affected, and it's going to, in its turn, directly affect anything that relates to the subject matter of trauma. So if you were in a car crash, for example, and you can barely, and the ordeal traumatized you so much to the point that the second you get in a car, you see everything flash before your eyes, and you feel all of a sudden cramping up. You feel yourself cramping up mentally, as in you can't do anything, as in astrally. That's your spirit, okay? You simply sustain spiritual damage to the point where your spirit or your astral body is corrupted, basically tainted, the same way that your physical body can become corrupted due to disease, okay? If you, for example, contract a disease, like a serious case of the flu or a fever, then obviously your body isn't going to be able to perform the way it usually does because it's compromised, okay? It's corrupted, it's tainted, it's damaged. And you won't be able to do the stuff you're used to doing. You won't be able to run the way you're used to. You won't be able to sit normally and go about your daily life. Everybody will clearly be able to tell that you're at a deficit, that you're handicapped, so to speak. Okay, you're not at full power. Instead of being at a full 100%, you're at like 60%, 70%, you name it. That's my point. Okay, a worst case scenario, a debilitating disease that leaves you slightly bedridden. Then you'll be at like 30 or 40%. You can forget the running. Walking is already going to give you trouble. It's the same thing with your astral body, and that's where the law of attraction comes into play. Okay, if you've been traumatized or something, you're not going to be able to function like a normal human being. If you sustain spiritual or astral damage, you're not going to be able to actually do the things, go about your daily life the way a normal person does. And you also won't be able to react to situations, whether they be common or rare situations of an emotional, mental, or astral nature, or all three. You won't be able to react normally. You can see it all around you with the world. Okay, nowadays you've had people that, for example, that have suffered, for example, someone that has had his or her heart broken in terms of relationships. Usually people that, especially people that are sensitive to stuff like that, they don't react in a healthy way, because a healthy way to react is to simply move on, simply acknowledge and accept that things did not go the way you wanted to in the past, and simply move on. But you're going to, I mean, you can see it with a lover, for example. Let's just say a man, a guy that has had his heart broken. You know, he really loved a girl or a woman, and things really went down south. He laid himself open and bare and vulnerable, and that woman essentially stomped on his heart. Okay, it's not literally traumatizing for the person, but when it comes to relationships, plural, you'll clearly be able to tell that the person is the person has sustained astral damage. Okay, you can tell that the person, whenever the subject of a relationship comes up again, or being in a serious one, a serious relationship, the person will, what I like to call, spiritually flinch. The same way that the same way that, for example, if you do this, someone flinches, someone goes like this. That's a normal, natural reaction, but there are also unnatural reactions. Someone that's been physically assaulted a lot, if you even do something that remotely resembles trying to hit them, for example, this, when you're only lifting your hand up to swear an oath, for example, and someone does this, then yeah, it's bad news. That means that the person is, generally speaking, that means that the person has been victim of physical assault. The person's been hit. An example is a housewife, for example, that had a violent husband that beat her ass on regular occasions, on a multitude of times. Yeah, it's the same thing. That lover will, the second the subject of a relationship comes up, or the second he comes across another woman that is a potential lover, someone that's interested in him, and the feeling is mutual, that the damage that he sustained is going to, generally speaking, cause, at the very least, cause substantial delays and as a drawback. Instead of things going flexibly and him just diving in, albeit with caution, the way a regular person does, or the way a regular person would recommend, he's going to, the idea of being in a relationship is going to seriously put him off. And as a result, there's a good chance that a potential relationship in the offering or in the offing for him is going to go down south, okay? Because the woman might not, when she sees him flinching like that spiritually, you know, in the long run, she might give up if he fails to explain himself properly, or if he keeps loitering, he keeps dilly-dallying around, he keeps delaying things, and she's going to, it's going to make a bad impression on her, and she, in the long run, is simply going to, the potential for a relationship is going to fizzle out. She's going to simply see off the idea. That's my point. I mean, in general, any person would. So yeah, that's definitely something that you need to keep in mind. That's the law of attraction. Negativity attracts negativity, okay? Your spiritual state of mind creates your reality up to a certain point or extent. And yeah, you know, the worst case scenarios or examples is someone that suffers from a host of mental illnesses of a mundane nature. The person can still function in society, but the person suffers from depression, severe anxiety, etc., etc. Have you ever seen someone like that be successful? Have you ever seen someone like that do well for himself or herself? No. In general, at the very least, most of the time, these people are losers. They're deadbeats. You know, they're good for nothings. They have no serious accomplishments or any real-time success to their lives. Not that you're supposed to be a superstar, but these people in general are not doing well. For them, life is more of a one big one big hurdle after another. Life is nothing but one adversity or one challenge after another. They're usually these squeamy, timid types that are quiet. Not that there's anything wrong with quiet, but quiet in a negative way. And daily life is simply a challenge for them. They work deadbeat jobs, they work dead-end jobs that have no future or prospects. They live paycheck to paycheck. Life overall is not virtuous for them. Okay, life is literally one big detriment, more or less. That's all because of their state of mind. Again, negativity attracts negativity. If you're seriously in a negative state of mind, okay, you sustain spiritual damage, then it's going to show and ripple throughout the rest of your life. The same way, like I said, if you have a debilitating disease or a semi-debilitating disease that afflicts your physical body, then you're obviously not going to be able to do anything that you were used to doing. If you're an athlete, for example, that's used to running 10 kilometers every single day, well, good luck with that when you've got that disease. When you've got that disease, it all depends on the seriousness of the disease. If it's a superficial one, like I said, it won't matter a lot. But if it's a serious disease, like you've got a severe case of asthma, forget about running. You'll barely be able to run like 10 meters or 20 meters. Okay, walking for an extensive amount of time, walking for 5 kilometers will already kick your ass or beat you down to the point where you'll barely be able to breathe and you'll be like, yeah, that's my point. And it's the same thing on the spiritual front, okay? Whereas people that are virtuous, people that are in an enlightened and heightened state of mind, people that are mentally healthy, people whose astral bodies are not only clean or free from any kind of corruption whatsoever, so such as trauma, negative emotions and whatnot, but people that are especially also exalted, it will show in their lives. These people will, generally speaking, do well because they'll attract positivity towards them, positivity in the way of the things that the average person desires in general, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, all three of them. A well-paying job, life going well, a good love life, you name it. Bottom line is, good things will happen to these people naturally because of their state of mind. They find themselves in a good, exalted state of mind. They're strong spiritually, and that strength, healthy and strong, and that health and strength shows, obviously. Like me, for example, not that I'm putting myself on a pedestal, but when it's the exact opposite, which I've also experienced, really worst case scenario, then yeah, life will be just like I explained, okay? Life will be one big setback, and worst case scenario is that you'll seriously end up being suicidal due to a lack of feeling alive. You'll be in such a lowly state of mind that you won't see the point in living anymore, okay? That might sound dark and harsh, but yeah, it is, and it's part of reality. So that's all. See you guys later. Bye.